friends, and welcome to another episode of Dark Side of the Word, a weekly podcast for all the dark story lovers. My name is Kait, and I am here with my powerful co-host, CJ.
Hello, everybody. I did not actually realize you were starting already, so I was about to say something, and then I just froze my mouth, and I'm like, okay, this is the position I'm going to hold. So, hi!
Do you need to say something?
I forget what I was going to say.
I just popped it right out of her head.
Yeah, it's just got, the nerves just got to me, and it's just gone, and I'm just like, okay, we're on. Hi.
You said you were ready.
I know, I didn't even say that. I did say we're ready, and for some reason, I didn't expect it to start, because usually we ask that like 3 times, and we only did it once this time, and then you went, and I'm like, oh, okay. Here we are.
Well, welcome everyone. Surprise!
Welcome, CJ.
Well, it is the second Thursday of the month, which means it is our content episode. We've read all the books and watched all the shows to weed out the good from the bad so that you don't have to.
Can I just say that I am super happy it is September? Not just because I love September, but because, you know, next month it's October, which does follow September. And that means they're going to start getting so much more spooky stuff, like on Netflix, on HBO, whatever the hell it's called now. There's just going to be so much more coming out over the next few months, and I am so excited for it. Yay! It's the best time of the year.
Now, at the time of recording this, I have not seen it yet, but next content recap, I will have watched the new Beetlejuice movie, too. So I am excited to talk. I will be talking about it, because, like, yeah, all of the Beetlejuice, the...
And I have tickets.
Lattes.
Pumpkin spice lattes. I have tickets tomorrow to go see Alien. I want to see Prometheus, but that's not it. Alien something, the new Alien movie, and I am super excited.
Starts with an R, right?
Romulus. I am
welcome.
excited. Thank you.
Yeah,
I am excited.
welcome.
We have a 10:55 in the morning showing, because that is when I like to go to the theater, to just go there before all the other people have sat in the seats and have made them gross. So I like to go early. I get my popcorn. I go see it. Plus, you get it for like $10 a pop, which is great.
No, early morning movies are legit the best.
They're so much fun. I love doing it.
And then you have the rest of the day.
And I feel like it gives me something exciting to look forward to when I wake up. It's like, oh, I'm going to have breakfast, and then I'm going to go see a movie. It's so much better than like, I'm going to go to the store and grocery shop, because that's usually what I say in the mornings on weekends. So.
And then you're not tired to be like, I have to sit through a movie. I'm tired.
Yeah, I have definitely fallen asleep in a lot of theaters before because I have gone to too late movies or somewhat early movies, but I have not fallen asleep at a 10 o'clock in the morning showing. After 5 p.m., all bets are off.
Well, we will expect an update next month on that movie. I will say I am not joining in because it's overdoing the franchise.
Okay. It looks spooky, and I'm excited. Well, not spooky, just creepy. Sorry. Go ahead.
Monstery.
Monstery. It looks monstery. Yes.
Which you know that is what CJ loves. Outside of like spooky supernatural movies, her second favorite is monster movies.
Yes, definitely. That reminds me, we have to watch Godzilla Shao, something. Our friend gave us this DVD about Godzilla something with a thing on the end of it. Godzilla something. I don't know. We're going to watch it.
Never mind, take it back. Different franchise.
Okay. Are you knocking my Godzilla movies?
No, I was going to say for this like spooky season, you need to watch the original. And then I realized it was King Kong that I saw. You need to watch like the 1930s King Kong, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And I think impressive for the time and still very interesting.
I do have to see that, actually. We started watching the original Godzilla and we stopped halfway through. We have to finish it.
Okay, so it's not because it sucked that bad. It was just something else.
No, we just got distracted. We found House of Dragons, and then a baking show came on, and then Expedition X came back on. Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And now that you're done with Supernatural, have you started Grimm?
No.
Or no, it was House of Dragon. Have you caught up to House of Dragon?
We stopped because of the Olympics.
Okay.
And then we stopped because it was a little heavy at night when we would sit down to watch, and we needed something a little lighter.
So like Grimm.
Or Antiques Roadshow. Antiques Roadshow.
Well, let's get into some serious content recapping.
Some real shit this time.
Some real shit. So, books first, and as usual, because we've
only done this for a year and a half.
Almost, like, we're getting close to 2 years, honey. And, like, we do the same format because me likes my orders.
I'm going to have to write it on a Post-it and stick it to my monitor so I remember, because I legit forgot. I completely forgot. Books first. Okay.
Every time we sit down to record, we go on, we record stuff in the order that they air, and every time we sit down to record, she's like, "Are we doing writing update first?" I'm always like, "Yes."
I'm blonde, okay? I'm blonde. The dark-haired among us would not understand what I go through on a daily basis.
Just don't go looking into any kiddie pools lately. In case someone dropped candy in the bottom. Anyway, all right.
Okay, books, which I am prepared totally to talk about. Okay,
cool.
So I have 2 books that I'm going to talk about. The first is called The Cliffs by Courtney Sullivan. So this is billed as a women's fiction novel with a ghost story twist on it. It takes place in coastal Maine, features a big Victorian house. I know, right? Big Victorian house overlooking the ocean that is supposedly haunted.
You just said my 3 favorite things.
I know, right? Totally. And I was super excited for this book because I love Courtney Sullivan. I know, you know what's coming. I love her other books. She wrote Commencement, which was her first book and probably her most well-known. It had that bright turquoise, like Tiffany-colored cover. And since I love spooky things so much, I was completely excited to see that she was finally incorporating some like spooky gothic horror into her novels, because her novels are always set in New England, so it's a perfect location for like spookiness. However, as you predicted, Kate, I was disappointed. So the haunting plays a decent role in the story, but it was not enough for me. This is definitely a women's fiction novel and not a spooky novel. So the way it was getting chalked up, I thought it was going to be a lot spookier than it actually was. It is not a scary book. It's not a creepy book. It does talk about mediums and ghosts and spiritualism, but not in a scary way. And that's not just me being like, oh, I'm not scared by anything anymore. Like, legit, it's not that scary. There's one kind of spooky thing that happens, and then it's just gone, and you just kind of forget about it.
Now, if you take the spook level out, is the book good? Like, did you like it?
So that's the other part, is that I didn't really like the book in general.
I didn't like it.
There's so much in it. Like, so the main thread of this is that the main character, her career and marriage are on the rocks because she drank way too much one night at a work party and made a colossal error in judgment. And she's trying to like piece back together her life. So she goes to her late mother's home in Maine and tries to figure out where she went wrong, what she can do to make it better. Okay. And so that seems okay, fine enough. But the book, The Cliffs, is also about alcoholism, abusive home life, sisters, mothers, white privilege and sovereignty, women's rights, the Shakers, Native Americans, reclaiming indigenous history and culture, spiritualism and mediumship, ghosts, preserving historic homes and relics of the past, art careers, and past lives. There is so much shit packed into this book. Like, just pick 3. Pick 3 things and write about them, and that's it. There's way too much jam-packed into this novel, and for me, I just found myself trudging through it. People are raving about it, that it's her best work yet. I do not see it. I just don't.
I'm going to say something very, I feel like, hot topic.
Uh-oh.
Like,
are we going to get canceled?
No. But I feel like it's make people gasp. But I am over... You said it now. I'm going to get the wording wrong, but you said it in your list. But I'm over the, like...
Is it the Shakers? The Shakers threw you, didn't they?
No. Well, I don't know what that means. So we're going to have to ask that second follow-up question. But I'm kind of tired of, like, the... what's the word? Like, not the abusive mom, but the bad mother-daughter relationship stories. The, like, bad home life stories. Mm-hmm. The, like, oh, my mother was so horrible. I feel that you and I have read it a lot in book club. Because, like, Just Like Home...
It does seem to be very prevalent lately. I've noticed that too.
Yeah, I'm just kind of over it. Like, I just don't want to read about that anymore. And so when you said
I'm starting
that,
to get that way. I'm starting to get that way too. The alcoholism that will feature in a movie I'm going to talk about. Yeah, I'm tired of watching these bad moms drink their way through their lives and make bad choices and scar their children. And there's no children in this book. But,
or just like the bad relationships between mother and daughters or parents and kids, and it's just I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
Like why? Like, it's not the trope or that I want to be reading about anymore at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in women's fiction, it makes sense. In horror novels, I'm a little less excited about it being there because we could talk about so much else in a horror novel and have that be the theme. But in women's fiction, I can definitely see where it has its place. But I too am tired of it because I do feel like it's everywhere these days. And I don't want to read about it anymore either.
Okay, so what's Shakers?
Okay, so the Shakers, which I discovered through reading this book. So this book has a lot of information. It's clearly very well researched. Usually, not usually, I think she's done some historical fiction, and it shows. She did a lot of research for this one. The Shakers are kind of like Quakers, I think. They're a very, very strict religious sect that I think has mostly died out. But they were more about equality. Like when they were in their hardcore time, they were more about equality between the sexes. They didn't believe in marriage between the sexes. Like you all lived as a community. Kind of think sister wives, but like everybody is like a wife and a husband, or they call each other brother and sister, and that's how you live. And that features prominently in this book, and you learn a lot about it, which was very interesting. But again, there's so much stuff you're learning about. It's just overwhelming. It read like a history textbook at a lot of times. I'm not even kidding. It's literally like she just plucked pages from a history textbook and put them in her novel of fiction.
So is that to cover up a plot that she didn't have?
There was a plot. No, there was definitely a plot. It's just that it went to like 10 different subplots in there as well. I like the main plot. I just didn't really stay on it often enough. It kind of veered off, and what I'm tired of is the multiple points of view, and not just like 2, 3, or 4. I'm tired of 6, 7, 8, 10. Having a point of view chapter from one character that we never hear of again, or like we hear of them, but we don't need their voice. We don't see their voice again. Like we saw that in in Lone Women too, that when we were reading it. Remember it had so many different characters, and every now and then there was a character who just never showed up again, but we had the point of view from them in the story. I'm tired of it. Just have 3 or 4. I don't need to hear from every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the damn book, you know?
I'm also kind of tired of point of views of two people and people from the same story when they're like together all the time, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, well, I just want one person. Can one person tell the story? Like, why do I need to like go back and forth between you two when you're like together the whole time? Like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want mystery of what the other person's thinking.
Yeah. I feel like this book, The Cliffs, had a lot of what I'm tired of from a lot of different books I've read. It's the best way to put it. Now that we have talked about that, that's really what I feel about it.
All right, sorry, listeners, for the barking.
The cacophony of barks.
Cacophony. All right, Daddy is taking care of it.
Okay. So, yes, this book is just everything I'm tired of. And I'm so sorry to say it because I really love this author. And her other books are great. Read other things by her. I don't recommend reading this one.
Unless you like tropes of, parent-child relationship issues. The long list she read.
Yeah, the whole, if anything in that long list intrigues you, like really intrigues you, you want to know every little detail from every point of view, try it then. Otherwise, yeah, you can give it a rest. Okay, and my other book is called Briefly Perfectly Human by Alua Arthur. I think that's how you say her name. So it is a memoir that's written by a death doula, which is somebody who helps the dying and the family of the dying as that person prepares to leave life. So I'm obsessed with all things macabre. I've been exposed to death at a very young age, so I find things like this very fascinating. So I really wanted to read this book. And the author, she talks about how she will talk to the dying and help them make peace with their impending death, help them tidy up their estates and their wills, help the family run errands. while they sit with the family member who is dying. You know, death is an incredibly complex and busy time that is often overlooked. And Alua's point is that it shouldn't be. It's just like with birth doulas and life coaches. There should be somebody who helps usher us and navigate death and everything that it brings and all the complications. And this really resonated with me. I love that aspect of it. And so while the topic of the book intrigued me, it wasn't as deathy as I kind of wanted it to be, for lack of a better phrase.
Wow, CJ's, wow.
I know. I feel that I don't know how else to say it. Like, I wanted like a deep dive into the everyday experiences of a death doula, like case studies. And there are case studies in this, which are fascinating when you do get to them. You know, she's met a lot of different people. She's helped a lot of people with her work. It's kind of like hospice work, but on another level, more personal, more intense. And I like that. But each chapter starts back with a look at Alua's pre-doula life when she was overstressed and overworked and unhappy. And then it transitions into the case study, but there's a lot about her family and her friends, her love life, her work life, her travels, and just her being all over the place until she settled into this work as a death doula. And while it was helpful in the beginning because it helped us understand why she was drawn to this life and why it's so meaningful for her, I don't need to know every damn story that happened to you. Like, it goes in depth about a lot of stuff. I just wanted to hear about all the death stuff. That's seriously just what I wanted, because the part of me that needs healing wants to hear all that stuff. So I was expecting more from this book. It's an interesting read if you like books like, what is the one? Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty. She also wrote Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs When I Die?
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
Mm-hmm. I loved her book. That was great. It was funny. This is another memoir, but not nearly as good as Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. It doesn't get into the nitty-gritty of death and dying and being a death doula the way that Smoke Gets in Your Eyes talks about being a funeral director. But if you're intrigued in that type of thing, I recommend it because it is interesting. And it raises a lot of good points that I can agree with about the dying process, basically, and the sham that funeral directors and all that stuff kind of pull over your eyes about death and the body and all that stuff. So
what you should do is become a death doula and then write your own book.
I kind of thought about it for a little bit, actually, but I think I'd be too upset to do that all the time.
Or you should write a book where the fictional main protagonist is a death doula who can see ghosts.
That's who can see ghosts. Interesting. Now I have enough ideas. I don't need more ideas in my head. Oh my God, I can't even publish the ones I have written down.
You're welcome.
But those are my two books, just two to talk about. Kind of dark, but mostly just sad about how much they left me wanting.
Surprisingly, I only have two books to talk about too. What's up with this? I know, right?
We're too busy watching movies.
I mean, I went from 108 books to 123 books, so that wasn't my problem. I just didn't have anyone I wanted to talk about. Well, I'm going to talk about, my first one is Leather and Lark by Brynn Weaver, which is book 2 to the Butcher and Blackbird book, which, we all know about.
Was that one that was really graphic with the eyeballs?
The ice cream ruining.
The ice cream, yeah.
Because I sent you the trigger warnings at the beginning of reading this one.
Yes.
And was like,
okay.
Oh, am I ready for this one? Yes, the trigger warnings list was longer. She said she would ruin pizza for me.
Did she?
No.
Are you disappointed by that? Because it sounds like you are a little bit.
A little bit, because not only did she say... Okay, I have the book right here, because I want to clarify why I was disappointed. Okay. So in the trigger, she says, I might have ruined pizza and beer, also smoothies, still not sorry. Okay, so that's the content warning.
Okay.
And then in the dedication, she said, for those of you who came here after the B&B ice cream and just read the L&L triggers and thought she's not really serious about the pizza, right? This one's for you. Like, she hyped this pizza up. Okay?
Yeah, I hear it.
No.
Did not deliver. The pizza did not deliver.
No. I kind of want to... I'm gonna give it away because I just feel like I want to give it away. All that happened is they put pizza, beer, and someone's teeth in a blender, blended it up, and then made the person drink it. That's not that gross.
It doesn't really ruin pizza for me.
No, thank you.
I thought, like, someone's skin was going to be, like, sloughed off their body and look like pizza, like cheese on pizza. That's where my mind was going.
Exactly. Like something gross.
Something more graphic. More graphic than being in a blender, apparently.
Yeah. Exactly. Snow globes. She said snow globes. Okay.
Ruined snow globes. Did the snow globes get ruined? Were somebody's eyes in a snow globe?
Not eyes.
Testicles?
I don't remember. Something. There was a body part, but I don't remember what. Anyway, so the whole thing is that Butcher and Blackbird is a piece of art if you can handle gore. And I love what she did, and I thought their idea was so much fun, and I love how she played off horror movies. It was amazing. And so I went into this book expecting this same level of awesomeness, and this book disappointed me so fucking much. One of the things I struggle with is how likely is it for, like, a serial killer to have a serial killer best friend? Like, how is it that everyone existing in this world are all type of, like, serial killers? And I said this in my review for Butcher and Blackbird, which is, I feel that Weaver did an amazing job of taking the idea of, like, these serial killers and making them into something that we didn't hate because... Like, you know, serial killers are bad, and so she gave them a twist that you're just not like, oh, I'm upset that they're killing these type of people, right? And so I feel that she tried to do the same thing in this one, but it didn't work as well, and in a way that it made the person too altruistic and not like it was. I didn't believe the romance. The story felt lacking entirely and more forced because it was like, oh, I sold 3 books is more what it felt like than an actual, like, great book that this person originated and wrote. And I was not in for it at all.
That is disappointing.
I really didn't like it, and I was bored, and
Do you think it's sophomore slump?
That's what I was going to think. And then I'm sitting here because it says literally Ruinous Love Trilogy, okay? This is already been touted as a trilogy, and I have no idea who the third person's going to be. And if it's who I think it is, then it's super, like, this is not a Ruinous Love situation. Like, this does not fit into this series. Because there's 3 brothers, so I'm like, is the third brother the one that's going to have their story about? Because there's nothing...
So 3 brothers, and they're all serial killers? What did Mom do wrong?
There's a whole thing, but...
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's have a book about her, because I really like to read that one, actually.
But that's why I'm like, this feels forced and like too much, and I couldn't get into it. Everything I left out the first book was entirely missing in this one.
Are you going to read the third one? Oh, wow, she really killed it for you.
And the other thing I was going to say is, like you said, it felt it felt forced and like sophomore slump. Well, it's pretty much like 20 pages in, so I'm not giving anything away. But the relationship, because it's a romance book, we all know that's coming. The relationship is also forced. It starts out as like, oh, we have to be in a relationship to save someone. So the whole time, it's just like having to prove their love to each other in a way. And it's just like, I don't believe any of this bullshit anymore. Like, it's just, no.
I find it weird that there's a premise of romance in a book about serial killers. Like, for me, that just doesn't fit.
If you could survive the first book, you would get it, and it's amazing. And it was... That's what the thing is unique and interesting, and she made it
I could see
work.
doing it once, but trying to do it again seems a little risky, because you might not be able to pull it off.
Exactly, and then, exactly.
Yeah,
and
so, maybe third time we'll get it again, I don't know.
Well, not in the way she set it up, because she makes it seem like the third brother is not a serial killer.
Well, at least one of them turned out normal.
Exactly. So how are you going to convince all this into like being... That's what
maybe he'll be attracted to a serial killer.
Yeah, well, they've already made his love interest in like the first 2 books. Like they've already introduced someone for him. Yeah. But the problem is that I said when I reviewed the other one is that I felt that she wrote herself into a box. Because she got so niche and so interesting. And so people now expect that. And she didn't pull it off in this one. And I feel bad saying all that.
It's disappointing.
I'm sorry, Weaver. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hear you.
But you were amazing at one point. Well, yeah, so...
Okay, that's book 1.
Book 1. Now, the second book is a little bit more fun and way better reviewed.
Okay, that's good, because we need something uplifting in this podcast.
All right, are you prepared for the title?
Yes, I am. I'm intrigued.
That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon.
I think you told me about this one.
Yes.
It was good?
I'm about to read the next book, which is That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion on a Werewolf. So I'm very excited to see where that one goes. But yes, The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon is a romp. It is hilarious. It is a lighthearted. It is sexy. It is very sex heavy, slightly more to the point that I almost feel like there was too much sex in it, which is
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I know.
Okay.
But it felt like the end of the book, like the arc happened, and then she wrote in an extra sex scene. And then was like, we're going to add in like 30 more pages so I can just have another sex scene for y'all. Like,
wow.
That's what I mean by slightly too much. But it was just so much fun, and it is such a quick read. I don't know how. By the way, this is by Kimberly Lemming. I don't know how she pulled off the amount of world building she pulled off in this tiny little book. Well, also, like, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, with all the sex, I'm surprised she found time to build a world.
But it's almost like a foodie fic too. Like, you
Ooh,
would love
really?
that. Yes, I know. But food is highly toted. It's almost like if you were ever a fantasy book, like if you ever wrote fantasy and you were ever a fantasy book, this would be your fantasy book.
Okay, I get you.
Like, it's also hilarious, and the love interest. You know, it's so quick. It's like 250 or 70 pages. Like, it's such a quick
that's
read.
nothing.
And the world building is like nothing. It's just, be warned, it has demons and dragons in it. But the world, like, the magic is like not that bad that I feel like you would love it.
I mean, like, I love Buffy, and that has demons, you know? Like, that's technically a fantasy type world, you know?
And I feel so bad now. What's my favorite character in Buffy? What's his name?
Spike?
Spike, thank you. I kept wanting to say Snake for some reason. Snake. So think, like, Spike fell in love with, like literally the lead is like Spike. Like a very overly protected Spike. No wonder I fucking love this book.
Okay. I'm adding this to my Goodreads right now. Adding.
He's snarky.
What is the title again?
That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon.
Okay. That time I got... Now it's loading. Okay, keep talking.
That time I got... Oh, keep talking. I don't know. It's just he's snarky. He's like overprotective, but he's also like extremely snarky and full of himself and cocky and all this the Spike kind of way.
Okay. I'm reading the very beginning of the description. All I wanted to do was live my life in peace. Maybe get a cat. Expand my spice farm. Right away, I am hooked.
That's what I told you. She has a cinnamon spice farm. This is what I'm telling you. This is like if CJ would ever write fantasy. I
love it.
Deserted, meaning fantasy and killing a witch.
Yeah. All right, I'm in. That would be good to wrap up my October spooky reading list because I usually like to end with something a little bit more lighthearted.
Oh, this is
to get me ready for, like, you know, the holiday season coming up.
Oh, this is perfect. It's just so much fun, and it's just, like I said, it's really quick. It's really rompy. Nice. There's a moment when you think that the world building is going to go really big, but don't worry, she took care of all that to just survive that one moment, and it's just fun, and the characters are amazing. Like, the characters are just so fun. I cannot believe I just recommended a fantasy romance book. A romantasy to you.
I wrote... No. I'm setting foot into the world of romantasy. Shit. It's a slippery slope, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'll have to tell you how I yeeted a love potion on a werewolf goes.
Yeah, let me know. Maybe it'll be another sophomore slump. Who knows? But I will definitely read the demon one. I'm very curious now. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy. That makes me so excited. I can't wait to hear all your thoughts about it. So we have a positive book out of all of this.
Yay!
If you need a lighthearted read to round out your reading list, you want something fun, sexy, rompy, hilarious, if you like Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all of that. I'm trying to think of who I would compare her to, because she's not Buffy. She's not that serious. She's fun. Yeah. You literally just read her perfectly. So.
I mean, that was a great intro to the character. Maybe get a cat, expand the spice farm. That's a day right there. I get her.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And the cover's just fun. I've shown it to you before. It's all bright and colorful. And it's so much fun. So that is all that I have to talk about in books.
Okay. That's so good. We ended on a high note with the books,
I know.
at least.
Hopefully we can do it with the movies. Which movie am I talking about last night? Okay, I mean, it's fine. But before we get into movies, though, I want to tell you guys about some more content that CJ and I both think that you need to consume in between listening to our podcast. So just remember, be loyal to us first. We started you on this. Don't forget about us, littlings over here, okay? But we wanted to tell you about a new podcast, Kait, new to us, that we recently discovered called A Time to Thrill, okay? So, A Time to Thrill is where smart, creative women share their stories of ambition, resilience, and success. Join bestselling author Amy Austin, creator of the Nicole Long... I don't know why... Every time I want to say Nicole. Okay. Nicole Long and Casey Court legal thrillers as she dives deep into what it takes to transition from careers in science, law, teaching, and psychology, among others, to become a best-selling author or artist. Every month, Amy interviews brilliant women who are navigating life as mothers, sisters, daughters, and partners, all while creating their own destinies. Curious about what it takes to thrive in the spotlight? Tune in and get inspired. A Time to Thrill, because if women hold up half the sky. Amy Austin is here to uncover how. Available everywhere you get your podcasts.
I'm intrigued.
I know. Well,
I have listened to the podcast, so of course I'm intrigued.
I was like, you are literally the demographic for that podcast.
I know, right? Seriously.
All right. I've talked a lot.
Okay. I will talk.
Is this a surprise?
I will take over the talking now.
Thank you.
Okay.
I need some water.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about, are these movies? These are all movies, so no TV shows, just movies. All right.
Okay,
so,
if it starts with a W, do it last, because that'll transition to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do. I'm going to try and remember that because
that's on my list, so let's just do it at the end so we can...
Okay. All right. Everybody, hold on for a little holding music while I quickly cut and paste.
Were you really going to start with that one?
No, I had it in the middle, but so that's because I will forget by the time I get to it and we talk about my first one, I'll forget and go right into the other one, and then you'll be like, whoa, so I just cut and paste real quick because I can work on the fly, totally. Okay, movie I'm talking about, The Deliverance.
Oh,
okay.
God, no, I'm glad you started with this. You cannot make me wait any longer.
You cannot make me move this around anymore. Okay. The Deliverance. It just premiered on Netflix the other night. It is a spooky haunted house / demon possession movie. It is about I can't talk. It is about an alcoholic mother of 3 who moves into a rundown house in Pittsburgh, I believe it is, with her kids and her mother, so the kid's grandmother. Weird shit starts happening in the house, and pretty soon it is very clear that not just one, but all 3 of her kids are pretty damn possessed. So the youngest son seems to be the main target of the possessions. So this story is based on real life events. I have heard of this story.
Wait, whoa. Okay,
yes.
I also just want to say really quick, I've talked to DJ about this. We've already determined Kait can't watch this. So if you're looking for a rating scale here.
Yeah, I texted her last night after I watched this, said, I just watched The Deliverance, holy fuck, or holy shit, something of that nature. And I said, you cannot watch this movie. And I said that I was going to sleep with all the lights on last night because that is how scary this movie was for me. So I've heard of this story. It's pretty famous among supernatural enthusiasts, and it is one of the few cases of demonic possession that's actually been witnessed and documented by police officers and social workers. So we have credible witnesses here. A lot of people have said, why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing, I'm freaking out inside.
Oh, okay.
This is like panic.
Okay, so just wait. So the biggest thing that this case is known for is that a social worker is on record claiming that the youngest son, who was very possessed, spider crawled up the wall in front of her eyes. Yeah. So that is what this case is very famous for. And that is definitely in the movie, and I was very excited to see it in the movie.
Is it mushrooms? Could this have been caused by
There's no mushrooms. There's no mushrooms.
But could it have been caused by mushrooms?
It was not mushrooms, my dear.
Or
It was
mold?
a
Could it have
fucking
been
demon.
caused-
It was
could
a
have been-
demon. Nope. No science here. Just pure
You
old-fashioned
okay,
demonology.
You believe it was really demon?
Oh, yeah.
Like in real
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I mean, I believe in demonic possession, so yes, I absolutely do.
I do too. I've experienced
Yeah, this one, from what I've read about this case and things I've heard, and obviously in this movie there are parts that are, especially toward the end, that get blown up to epic proportions to create movie magic. A lot of this stuff at the very end, especially, did not actually happen in the case. I won't say what because there's a lot of shock, surprise going on, but obviously parts are a little over the top to just make it Hollywoodish. But a lot of the beginning of the movie and the middle of the movie sticks true to what happens in the case, and it is fucking creepy. We all know I've become very immune to anything scaring me, and this one got to me. The exorcism scene, or the deliverance scene, as they call it, instead of exorcism, it's deliverance, where the child, he turns into, this isn't giving anything away, but he like morphs into a demon that looks like the grandmother who has cancer in the movie, and the makeup work is so freaking creepy. Like, I did not want to look at that thing. I just wanted to be off the screen. It was so well done, and what the words coming out of her mouth were so weird and odd, and it was terrifying. There were little creepy things everywhere. It was so good.
2 questions. One of them I think you'll be able to answer in the sense that it won't give anything away.
Okay.
When is this based? What year?
2011.
Oh, so this is
recent.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. That's another reason why it's so famous. I think the Ghost Adventures people went there at some point too. The podcast I listened to, Scared to Death, they have covered this case, absolutely.
What's the case called? Because I don't know if you'll let me answer the next
I don't
question.
know what the case itself is called. I think the woman's name is LaToya. In the movie, her name is Ebony Jackson. But I think at the end of the movie, they tell you who it was based on, the real life thing. And I think her name is LaToya.
Okay, I was going to say, what is it based on?
Yeah, but it has a big cast, this movie. The only people that I knew the names of were Glenn Close, which was interesting, and Monique, who was nice to see again. And it's directed by Lee Daniels, whose name I've heard. I think he did a movie a couple years ago called The Butler, and it won a lot of awards. So the movie is really well done. There's good acting, there's good scares, there's good effects. It is a little hard to take in some parts because the mother, and this is not a supernatural part, but the mother is an alcoholic, and there is some child abuse and alcoholism, and you really, really hate the mom for a good part of this movie. It is difficult to watch. If you're triggered by these things, go in very carefully because it is a lot to deal with. But ultimately, this is a very creepy movie. It's excellently done. I think it's going to be a bit of a classic in coming years. So definitely give it a watch if you want something spooky this Halloween season.
Okay, this is the part I'm looking for.
Looking for the spider crawl thing?
No.
What are you looking for?
What happened to the kids in real life? Like,
oh,
after.
Yeah. Don't tell what happened.
I'm not. That's why I said I don't think you'll be able to.
No. You do find at the end of the movie what happens. But, yeah. So I think you should watch it. Do you want me to go to my next movie now while your eyes bug out of your head? I
want to say this. I will cut it if you think it reveals too much. Okay. So I'll cut this out, but I have to say this. Someone actually bought the house after all this for $35,000, and it looks like they still live there.
Now, interestingly, I heard the house was bulldozed in 2016. That's what they say at the end of the movie.
Oh, really? Okay, maybe, because it says the haunted house was eventually purchased for $35,000. The Courier Journal reported. The article said the current tenant called the police to complain. Reporters and photographers showed up, and she declined offers of money and interview requests.
I mean, maybe that was before the house was bulldozed.
Okay, maybe. This was by Forbes, so I mean, not like the untrustworthy source. Okay. Yeah. Do you think I can leave that in?
I don't think it really gives anything away about the family.
I mean, we all know. I mean, it's assumed people aren't going to stay where shit happens.
Yeah.
Whether they die, live, they get. None of that gives that away. The house is. The people aren't going to be there.
Yeah. But it is well done. You should not watch it. You will freak out.
Why is there a little part of my soul though that wants to watch?
Do you remember his house?
Yes.
It's like, to me, it's on the level with the creep factor of his house.
But you said you weren't scared of his house.
I was a little freaked out by some things, but for you, I think this would be.
Okay, if our listeners don't remember, I watched his house entirely through my fingers. Like, I'm not lying. Like, the whole time I was like...
That was an excellent movie. Excellent.
Okay.
But,
We'll see. It'll probably have to be at 10 o'clock in the morning on, like, a Saturday when I can stay up all night.
Yeah, seriously.
Have to watch, like, Pink Pony.
Have both your dogs next to you.
Sage the house when we're done.
Okay, well, the next movie that I'm talking about is much easier to deal with. You would be able to watch this one because it's not scary. So it is called A Simple Favor. It is on Netflix.
No, I know this one.
You know this one? It's from 2018. It's older.
Yeah. It has Blake Lively. And
yes, it has Blake Lively. It has Anna Kendrick.
Thank you.
And it has Henry Golding. Huh?
I love Henry Golding. I've seen
I like him
quite a few times.
I like him. So A Simple Favor is on Netflix. It's a thriller, dark comedy. Anna Kendrick plays this over-the-top perfect mom with a vlog, which is kind of funny. And she befriends the cool mom, who is Blake Lively, who drinks too much and has a high-powered job and isn't a very good parent. And then Blake Lively's character goes missing. And Anna Kendrick's character finds herself thrust into the world that Blake Lively lives in, all while being sucked into, like, kind of the webs of deceit. And Anna Kendrick, as always, does a hilarious job of playing that nerdy, awkward woman who just makes you cringe with everything she's saying, but also makes you go, yeah, that's me. I'm like that too. And Blake Lively is my girl crush right now because she is just gorgeous. And I could stare at her face on screen for hours. I'm not even joking. She's also really foul-mouthed, and I did not expect that. So the last thing I saw Blake Lively in was Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. And this is quite a different vibe. And I always used to wonder how she worked as a wife to Ryan Reynolds, since he's so, well, Deadpool is the last thing I saw him in. And she doesn't strike me as that type for some reason. Maybe it's all the fancy dresses, and she always looks so put together, even when, like, heavily pregnant. But after seeing this movie, I get it now, because she is the exact same way. She is foul-mouthed. She makes jokes. They have the same sense of humor.
But did you watch Gossip Girl?
I did not watch Gossip Girl.
Okay, because, like, that, yeah.
I did not watch Gossip Girl. Like, literally the last thing, I'm not kidding, the last thing I saw her in was Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. So that is entirely what I'm basing, to me, Blake Lively is that girl from Traveling Pants.
No.
But no, she is not. She is not, and now I know. So this movie is definitely dark. There's a lot of intensity, but there's also a good amount of laughs, given what the topic is. Some of it is predictable, I think purposely, but also some of it surprised the crap out of me. But what surprised me the most is how much I really just enjoyed this movie. It was just a fun time. I watched it on a Saturday morning. I was like, I don't know, I'll just put something on, and I just got sucked into it, and I loved it. So if you're looking for a good time, give it a shot. When you need something lighter after the Deliverance, put on A Simple Favor.
Right. Well, after the Deliverance, she decided to watch the next movie we're talking about. So, like, that wasn't much of a pink pony princess relaxing moment.
Yeah, but it was...
Yeah. I watched it.
Yeah.
The next movie I watched. I wasn't scared. I watched mine at, like, midnight.
That's when I ended up watching mine too, pretty much. It wasn't scary to me. I knew what was happening the whole time. So
if anyone needs to understand the level of this movie, I watched it at midnight. Watched one section, so like commercial to commercial section of real.
That
like,
was annoying
charm.
that there were commercials in there.
Wait, do you not pay for ad-free women?
I thought I did until this moment, and I realized that apparently I must have not at some point.
Because I pay for ad-free. There ain't no commercial.
There was commercials. Okay, so the movie we're talking about, everybody, is The Watchers. It is on Max. On Max. So what happened is we used to have Discovery Plus without ads.
Okay.
And then when it morphed into HBO and Discovery, I think that we lost our little ad-free thing, and they just gave us something.
So you need to, like, upgrade.
Yeah, because the ads came at very inappropriate times where, like, it'd be, like, mid-sentence of something really important. I'd be like, okay. I didn't need to find that out right now. That's all right.
Yes. So we're just going to transition to The Watchers now. We're both going to talk about it because we both watched it practically a day apart. Because, if you remember, I read the book. I've been really wanting to see the movie. And
I did not read the book.
As soon as it came on Max, I was like... And I really wanted to fit it into this episode, so I was like, we're binging it now.
I thought it was a series, too. When you said you binged it last night, or the other night, I was like, wow, she's really committed. She watched, like, 6 episodes or something. And then I found out it was, like, a 2-hour movie.
All right, so what were your thoughts?
It was interesting. It was good. I mean, right away, I knew we were dealing with... Well, everyone, I cannot say what I truly think about this because this is our second take, and I spoiled the ending, and Kait decided we should probably take that out, and she's probably right. But I was not as shocked as other people may be to find out what the big reveal is.
Okay, if you read the book, it is... Because of the way it's made and the emphasis... Now, just to give a quick synopsis, essentially a girl is running through... Her car breaks down in the middle of nowhere, and she's trying to get help, so she's walking through the woods, and a lady yells at her to run if she wants to live, and she ends up running to this lady into a building where there's a huge wall of mirror, like a two-sided or two-way mirror or whatever, and the light comes on, and every night, monsters on the other side of the mirror watch them. The Watchers. And the way that they build up the book, that there's a lot of emphasis on what these monsters are, but they don't tell you until the very end. Because that's like a big reveal of even just like this.
I'm just going to say,
twist.
all my fellow English majors out there, it's in rural Ireland, and there's a forest. What do you think is in there? You're right. That's all I'm saying. You know within 5 minutes what is going on.
I mean, whatever.
I know. But it annoyed me because I'm like, oh, again. But you know, it was interesting for what it was. I saw a lot of the things coming. I wasn't surprised by it, so it was very atmospheric, and I like that. You
guessed the twist at the end because they do a way better job of that in the book.
I mean, they kind of tell you what it is in the middle, though.
No, but like the twist at the end.
Oh, yeah, I guess that one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they kind of do a better job of hiding that in the reveal in the book. That was the moment I was scared, when that was revealed in the book. The whole time I wasn't like, I was fine. And then the end, and then the way it happens in the book, I think is way better done. And also, the ending of the movie doesn't match the book. And I thought that, in a way, because of the way that they changed the ending, they made it kind of spoofy. Like the monsters became more spoofy instead of these.
In the movie, you mean?
Yeah, instead of these like scary things, and so it just kind of felt like, ugh, like you're losing the like great quality that you had here.
Yeah. Because
the lore that is said in the movie is not what matches the book.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So, offline, I'm gonna I'll tell you something about it. Okay. Because then you'll be like, oh.
I mean, I love folklore horror. That is one of my favorite genres. And when I figured what it was, I was like, okay, I'm still interested because I've watched a lot of folklore horror on this topic before. To me, it wasn't as captivating. Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of questions, which kind of led me into what the reveal was. That's why I saw it coming. Because I'm like, wait a minute here. So, I don't know. Maybe it just was a bit formulaic for me.
No, 100%. Even the characters. Because in the book, there's so much more time spent on like the characters and who they were. Okay. So when decisions were made and choices were made, it was extremely realistic. But they didn't feel typecast into fitting into boxes entirely either. Okay. And so they just felt like, oh, here's the label for this person. Here's the label for this person. Here's the label for this. Like, especially the character between the husband and wife, that's like developed so much better and so much more well done in the book. So I was actually extremely disappointed with the movie. And I was just wanting more. I did like the atmospheric, like, cinematography. Yeah, Dakota Fanning actually annoyed me so much in that book.
In the movie, you mean?
I mean, in the movie, yeah. Like, how she played her character and her just annoyed me.
Yeah, she was a little... I didn't like the whole... Oh, it's so hard to talk about this without talking about it.
I know.
How she believes this thing about herself. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I don't think that's exactly how that happened because you were like, what, 5? So
if I remember correctly, that's not even in the book.
Really?
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. It's just about her not having like a passion in life and a drive to like be successful. And so, because even how so the bird happens, and I'm going to tell everyone the bird lives. I'm going to repeat this a million times. Bird lives. Even how she gets to doing the bird and all of that is completely different. She doesn't work in a pet shop. It's a completely different scenario. Okay. Like the whole thing set up is not the way they portrayed it in the movie, and that also pissed me off. It's just like she doesn't have a passion to thrive, and that is one of the reasons why her getting stuck in the forest also played out a certain way in the book. So,
was this a YA book?
Nope.
Interesting, because from the movie I felt like it was a YA type book for some reason because of they really kind of sounds like they dumbed it down a lot for the movie. I think I would like the book better.
Well, you're gonna give him a try because we've picked him for a book club episode.
Oh, we have? Nice. Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot. See, I forget everything. Just
kind of good for you. So that's The Watchers. Anything else that you want to say about it?
I don't. Yes, but I can't, so no.
We'll say it offline.
We'll say it offline, exactly.
All right.
Oh, wait, there was one thing. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Should we just play it safe?
Yeah, never mind. I'll just tell you and no one else.
Okay. So I have 2 additional movies to talk about. I watched Hitman, which is on Netflix. It is based on a real life person who does freelance work for the police department by pretending to be hitman and doing undercover work. So he pretends to be a hitman, and then essentially he gets the person to say I'll pay you to kill someone, and then the person gets arrested. But what makes the movie amazing is Glen Powell plays the hitman. And if you wonder if Glen Powell is ever just a pretty face, he is not. He is also a great actor. The Twister guy.
Oh my god!
I was wondering why I wasn't getting a reaction from you.
I did not. I just know him as the hot guy from Twister.
Yes. The hot guy from Twister.
He has no name.
He's not just a pretty face. Because he gets to play all these personas in the movie to being a hitman, he's so good. And if you thought he was hot in Twister, I'm just.
What else has he been in? I feel like he just came out of nowhere. There's memes everywhere now.
He has been in so much. He's also was in Anyone But You, which is also on Netflix, and Set It Up. You need to watch Set It Up. Set It Up is very good. Also on Netflix. But yeah, so what's fun about The Hitman, though, is not only is it a great premise and hilarious and has these great moments, it's actually kind of dark. And it has a dark subplot running through the whole thing, with him playing a hitman and falling in love, and then murder and ensues and all this stuff. And I found it to be a very enjoyable movie, and you get to stare at something hot while also having a decent plot and laughing.
That's pretty good. What more do you want?
Exactly. And so I definitely recommend it. So yeah.
Okay. No.
And like I said, it was based on a real person, which I thought was fun too.
That's pretty cool that he was a fake hitman type thing.
It's kind of oh, can I freelance?
I know, right? I would not be able to do that. I'm researching a book.
So if you need another movie night, that isn't too scary. And then lastly, I finally was able to watch the latest 2 Ghostbuster movies.
Oh,
which I know.
Yay!
So, first one, Afterlife, I did get from my library, and I was pushed to do it because Frozen Empire or Frozen something?
Frozen Empire.
Frozen Empire just got put on Netflix, and so I was like, oh, let's hurry up and do this because I don't want to pay to watch these when I pay for streaming. So I got the first one from my library and then did that. And I thought that this might be one of the best franchise reboots that I have seen. I thought that they did an amazing job with Afterlife. I love the time. I did appreciate the CGI of, what's his name, since he had passed away.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. It was a little spooky. I was disappointed at the recycling of monsters. Because, come on. That's, my least favorite thing about the original Ghostbusters was the monster. I was just I did not like Frozen Empire as much. No. I felt, it was okay.
It was good. Yeah, but...
It was good enough that I will totally watch a third one.
Definitely.
I like the characters that they've created and put in. I love the daughter. She's hilarious.
Yes, she's so great.
The granddaughter, but the lead. She's hilarious. I love her. She's snarky. She's intelligent. I thought that they also did a really good job of gender swapping roles in a sense, and also making it progressive without doing the all female Ghostbusters, which was so stupid. And I liked it. But I love how they also played up with some of the same trope and character tropes of who the people were and just all this stuff. I love how in Frozen Empire there's the question about holding all the ghosts in the containment unit. And that was a question that I believe was posed in the second movie, Ghostbusters 2, of how many ghosts are you going to be able to fit in here? And so I liked the play of building off of what was already created instead of starting something completely new. They really... The creator of this really spent time analyzing the old movies and playing off of that. And I really, really liked that about it. It was one of those times when you just sit down and you're like, this is a fun romp and I just want to watch a fun movie.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
I feel like I don't get that much anymore. I don't get where you're just let's sit down and be entertained.
Yes, I agree.
I walked out of Twisters and I was I am so entertained. And this was one of the first times I walked out and it was just... I had that satiated feeling of
the magic of the movies.
Yeah, the reason we go as we if anyone grew up in the 90s and early aughts where you watched movies and you went on the summer to a movie theater and you walked out and you're that was just so much fun. I went away somewhere. We don't have that anymore and it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm also missing the yearly sequential movie releases of when we lived through the Lord of the Rings releases and we lived through the Harry Potter movies. I miss that. I need No, but I need a new franchise where it's like every year we get a new one of like in this book series of things.
I feel like there was something that we were getting regularly. I don't remember what it is.
Because even
now.
Dune isn't regular, and I don't know.
I want a new Jurassic Park type movie like every year. Like I will just watch them over and over again. I love the last two. They were so fun. I'm waiting for another one. I even love like the teaser trailer that was like a filler between the movies where like these people were at a camp. I just loved it. It was so creepy. So good. Nothing scares me like dinosaurs.
My partner is a Jurassic Park, like, what is it? Not a realist, but like a purist. He is a Jurassic Park purist.
Okay.
So he hates the reboot. Like, he hates them to death. He is.
Wow. Okay. I will not mention those when I see him. Okay.
He's a purist. He's like, the first two, that's it. Like, his dream is to make the Jeep, like, remake, like, the Jeep from the,
I love it.
God,
I love it.
Can't with his, he loves dinosaurs. Like, he is the adult equivalent of a 5-year-old.
As does my husband. Loves the dinosaurs. Absolutely. I think a lot of men love dinosaurs and space. I saw this thing that said, like, it had like a meme, and it had a dinosaur like floating in space with like an astronaut bubble, and it said someday. And I'm like, this just describes so many men that I know. The epic combo of their loves together. Dinosaurs in space. I could just picture it in my head. Oh my God, it's just so funny. Okay. Anyway, yes, Ghostbusters.
And then because we did transition with Watchers, I didn't update everyone. I am now on season 4 of Grimm. I'm really enjoying it. It's less procedural now and like, you know, serial of like every time they solve something, and we're really more into like an overall plot that is very interesting. And we just had a fun twist. So I'm halfway through season 4. I've got 2 more seasons after that, and then sadly we'll be over. But I'm enjoying it way more than I thought I would. I will admit, I'm a little surprised, but
yeah. It's nice to be surprised every now and then.
All right, do we have anything else? Or can my cheeks stop? I can't do this anymore.
We can stop. My ears hurt from my cat things, so oh God, that feels so good. Okay, I'm ready. Right, I'm ready to sign off.
Don't forget that we are reading Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman this month. So
I'm sorry. What was that name?
Josh Malerman.
Okay, I heard Josh Malerman for a second. I was
Josh Malerman. Don't forget to use our bookshop.org links to get your copy. Thank you so much for listening to Dark Side of the Word, a Dark podcast for all the weekends.
I'm sorry, wait, before you go, I just totally reminded of that time when, oh God, what was that name? What's that guy from Saturday Night Live? John Travolta introduced Idina Menzel totally wrong. He's like, Adele Nazim. And we're all like, and then Idina Menzel walks out. Do you remember that? No? No? Okay, I'll send that to you.
Alrighty, friends. Thank you for listening to this episode of Dark Side of the Word, a weekly podcast for all the dark story lovers. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give the video a thumbs up, and to leave us a comment about how wickedly amazing we are. We're also a podcast only on Spotify, Apple, and iTunes. Thank you so much, friends. Bye.
Bye.